We're very honoured to work with Call of Duty. You know, Infinity Ward created an extraordinary game that everyone here plays. The first objective we had was to take everything that they had done and make it bigger. Our game focuses on much bigger individual wow moments, more guys on screen. We tried to push the AI envelope, the particle system, so we have much more explosive content in the game. Basically to take everything that Call of Duty 2 is and then just take it even further. At certain points during the game, you are put into a very close camera first-person mode where you will need to perform an action. For example, melee hand-to-hand fighting. Basically, a German will leap out at you, will grab your gun, or you'll grab his gun, whichever way the fight happens to turn that time, and you'll be put into a very close camera and you'll have to perform new actions to defeat the German. Whether it goes to multiplayer or not, I'm not sure. We'll have to talk to our multiplayer team to see if they like it enough.
From Call of Duty 2 to Call of Duty 3, we went to 24 players on next-gen consoles. And then you start to add in some of the multiplayer-specific things like the multiple occupancy vehicles. Tanks, Jeeps, and motorcycles, all of them allow you to have more than one player involved. We think the game is very team-centric, or more team-centric than previous games were. So if you work together with your team, you can sort of move that whole game and mission along a lot further than maybe before. There's 2 tanks in the game, one for each of the 2 armies involved in the mix, and each of those tanks has a gunner position. He can rotate 360 around that tank and be sure that no one can get close for the kill. Jeeps have the driver, a passenger, and also a gunner on the back. Now the Jeeps are sort of the ultimate hit and run vehicle for capture the flag style missions. The passenger position in a Jeep is fully articulated. He can move, he can shoot, he can throw grenades, he can do anything he can normally do. He's not just sitting there like a statue. So he's got the full thing. The motorcycle has a sidecar, also fully articulated, also good for hit and runs, and he can use his guns and throw grenades and do all those things. Call of Duty 3, we introduced a sort of class concept. So starting from the top, you have a rifleman. Every class has a special ability. The rifleman has a rifle grenade which he can attach, and he can get more rifle grenade ammo as he ranks up. Then we have a light assault and a heavy assault, and that's just the difference between their 2 guns. They have anti-personnel mines they can place in the world. As they rank up, they get more mines and the ability to have more mines in the world. We have 2 support classes. One is, of course, for destroying vehicles. Carries a bazooka or a Panzerfaust. They distribute ammo. Then we have the LMG gunners who can mount their machine guns, on certain surfaces. You have a medic. The medic has the ability to revive fallen soldiers, so every time you die in the world, you're really just sort of injured for 10 seconds, and a medic can come up and put the syringe in you and pop you right back up. Really good for sort of clutch situations. Favorite tactic for medics, pop smoke, rush the battlefield, clear the room with that shotgun, and then right then and there pick up your soldiers with the revive. You're picking up points for the kills, you're picking up points for the revives, and now your teammates all working together to get whatever objective that they were just at. The scout, awesome class, got a backpack with the radio on it, calls in artillery strikes as he ranks up. Every 3 minutes, the scout can pull up his binoculars, target a section that's fairly far away from him so he doesn't call it on himself, hit that trigger button, in comes 3 shells. By rank 3, he's leveling entire sections of the map. You start at rank 1 and you can go to rank 3, and what that does is sort of unlocks various things specific to your class. So in this simple example, of course, of the medic, you can revive faster, and by scouts can call more artillery strikes. What you get by ranking up on the weapon side, of course, is that the way the ammo counts matter for the specials, but you don't actually have anything like new to the weapon. There is a sort of commander who will kind of keep you informed about what's going on in the game. I mean, he's just an off-screen player. You're not taking his role. He'll radio in to you if you're trying to take a flag that you can't take.
That position isn't available.
There's 2 sort of main configuration options you have when you create games that'll kind of help with this scenario. The first, of course, is that you can put auto team balance on. So that allows you to basically make sure that the teams are always even, and that even if you and I want to play on the same team together because we're that type of guy, we're going to cheat, we're not going to be able to once we get separated. That's a good measure. Another measure we put in is that team killing players will get booted out. We also have the concept of private slots on the 360. So of course you could have a 24-player game with just the people you want. You could say, 16 guys that I know, and then the rest are open. So any kind of combination of those 3 things will sort of prevent that sort of hackery from happening, I think. You can actually invite players to ranked games, and that's actually really intentional. In ranked game scenarios, which you don't want to determine who you play against, or it will impact your ranking. So this is actually a very conscious decision made on the part of Microsoft for ranked games games in the first place, and one that we honor absolutely. You can't kick people from lobbies. You can't invite people to ranked games. We're going to let the ranking system provided by the Microsoft software to determine who you should be playing with. Brand new to Call of Duty 3 is a game mode called War. Depending on the size of the map, there's either 3 or 5 objectives that you take in sort of a linear fashion. So everyone has to compete over the same objective. So the action just sort of rushes in on whatever the objective is. You take that, then the next one goes. You take all 5, you win. Some slight modifications to headquarters. When you die while defending, then you can just sort of respawn. Timer gets incremented, but you're not tapped out. It's not a last man standing game, but you won't stay dead, so you can still get back in the battle. We also have Capture the Flag, which is very classic CTF rules, and we also have Single Flag CTF. We just call it Single Flag for short. Just one flag in the world, spawns in, everyone rushes to the flag, battle, battle, battle. Run the flag into the enemy base, so you're running against the defenders. So that's sort of the modification on that game rule. Spawn points are absolutely specific. The game mode of War with the 5 objectives, you're always spawning sort of one back from whichever one you've just got. So there's really hundreds, and I literally mean that, hundreds of possible spawn points because of this system of wherever the flag is. And you take a game like HQ, there's just spawn points everywhere, and then it's based on the distance between what the HQ is and not. So we have some pretty good algorithm work where we try to spawn you close to your teammates but away from the enemy. Not every map has to be a big map to have a vehicle. Forest is not a particularly large level, and it has motorcycles. But you essentially, every map will come with vehicles, and those are the vehicles that we think are probably going to be the best scenario for that type of map. And each map is set up for this kind of different types of gameplay. Some guys love big vehicle maps with big vehicle battles. Some guys love big maps without a lot of vehicles. We have both. We suggest that you play with 12 players in certain maps because they're smaller, but we don't prevent anybody from playing any number of players in any map. You can play the largest map with 4 players. You can play the smallest map with 24 players. There's 9 maps that'll ship on the disc for multiplayer in next-gen games like 360. As far as map packs concerned, can't comment on that, but have you ever seen a Call of Duty game not have a map pack? There's a lot of things that'll make you want to spend the money and be well worth it, of course. You're starting from the top, you got the 24-player action going on. You've got brand new game modes to play that have not been seen in a Call of Duty game before. You've got vehicles, you've got rank ups, you've got the special abilities, and one of the most aggressive team-based games around.